Welcome, guys. This is now the Hey Beauty Podcast.
Yes.
I love it. And we are going to start out with Hey Beauty.
Hey Beauty.
I'm Seraphine Arrocha, and this is my beauty partner in crime, Miss Chelsey Attia. Hello.
Hi.
I love it. We are starting the new year with all the Aquarius energy of change and good stuff with a new rebrand of the podcast. So for those of you who may be new to Hey Beauty, we were a part of a podcast for about a year and a half called the Seraphiend Podcast. It's a play off of my name, and we did a lot of fun interviews, and we did a little bit of everything on that podcast.
We did.
And what we found is that through trial and error, that podcasts should be pretty intimate.
Yes, conversations, getting to know you as a host and us together.
Yes.
And just be more vulnerable.
Totally. More vulnerable and less Barbara Walters. I come from a total childhood of that kind of media. And, I came into podcasting during a time where we were going straight into COVID. There was all this pressure.
Yeah.
I wanted to make some changes in my own life. I wanted to be a part of change in our community. And, I put all this pressure on myself, and I started each week to feel overwhelmed with trying to bring content and good guests.
Yeah.
And I just needed a moment. And honestly, it took the entire time that we were doing it to kind of figure out.
But honestly, trial and error. We tried things, and we really fell in love with reviewing the Real Housewives together and having our conversations together. And now we're ready to go deeper and talk and have more fun.
Totally.
And more flexibility with what we talk about. So we're super duper duper excited to be back here.
It is.
On the mic.
It is. We are so excited. Of February, the month of love.
I think of pink hearts, the shortest month. Winter is my least favorite season, so it's actually kind of I don't hate February because it's 28 days, maybe 29, depending on leap year. And it's Valentine's Day, right in smack dab in the middle.
Totally. And I can understand the argument with people on Valentine's Day. We're like, oh my gosh, it was created by a mass media culture to buy, things. And that's okay. Sorry, I'm getting a message from my husband. How's your day going? It's going great because we're podcasting. I love it. But I also think that it's a great excuse for us, honestly, to kind of, to have a moment and pause and celebrate our relationships, whether they're
totally
with our spouse or whether our partner or
ourselves
or friends or family, all of those things. So I don't know. Anything that celebrates love for me is a bonus.
I love love. We're hopeless romantics.
We're so hopeless romantics. And you're going to see when we talk a little bit later about the signs and how we're going to be spending our Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Now, also in this month, we have what I call the yawn holidays. We've got Groundhog's Day, which I guess is kind of cute because you see if Puxatawny Phil comes out to see a shadow.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? I don't know.
I don't know the name, but I always looked forward to Groundhog Day because I'm hoping for, 6 weeks of winter left?
Yes.
Or
shorter,
less?
Yeah. Something shorter. And I love the movie with Bill Murray. Bill
Never
Murray.
Seen it.
Oh my God, you have not?
No.
Oh my God, you have to watch it. It is so cute.
Okay.
Then we've got President's Day. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. Isn't that day off of school though?
It is. So I think, the kids like it.
Yeah, I always liked it.
If you're super religious, Ash Wednesday. Is that where they put the cross on your head? Yeah. No, I don't do that, but
Catholics do.
My husband's family does it. But the cool thing about this month is it's also Black History Month, which in the last 2 years, it was something that was in high school and, you wrote your report.
Yeah.
But now it really is I learned so much in the last couple of years just by understanding what is actually going on in the month. I mean, we've got actually Rosa Parks' birthday is on February 4th, who is a trailblazer. Then we also have the death of Malcolm X. I mean, you could go down the list of February, why it's Black History Month. There's so many big happenings, big iconic moments in Black history. But on top of it, it's just a way for us to observe, to discuss.
Absolutely. And I think people within the current climate of what we're living in right now, people are bringing more focus to the month. I've always known it was Black History Month, but now I go through Target and I see Target has a whole line for Black History Month. And I really think that that's cool. And I love that. And it makes me excited and happy that like there actually was a change that's continuing. You know, sometimes things happen like, oh, we're going to change and then things go back to normal.
100%.
I feel like it's been almost 2 years now since George Floyd in June of 2020. And we're
oh my gosh, it's so
merchandise.
Much. Well, my gosh, this is award season and there was no Golden Globes.
I don't understand, like, why?
Well, the reason why is because of that very fact. The Golden Globes did not do enough at all to bring in diversity. So
I think I did that. There was a lot with the nominations.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of diversity within that. You know what? The board or the board or whatever they call them.
Yep.
They're all still like the old men.
I think it's like it's the media. What is it? We're gonna have to look that up. I feel so bad because I watch it every year.
Well, let me look it up. I have my computer.
I love it. And honestly, I mean, I'm okay with the fact that they didn't do it this year because there needed to be a change.
Yeah.
Although I always miss me some Ricky Gervais, but I don't think Ricky Gervais will ever go back and host unless they get their crap together.
Is it just the Golden Globes or is it all award season? Because I haven't heard anything about any award season.
No, actually, I think the Oscars will be and the SAG Awards I think will be on TV.
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything now to do with COVID. It was just. Unfortunately, the foreign
Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Yes.
I almost had it.
87 members. Gosh. And they're probably all
white guys.
Old white, like 65 and up. Maybe in the next few years we'll start seeing a change. I'm
hoping.
It's necessary.
It is necessary. Yeah. The other thing in this month that I absolutely have it's a sentimentality for me is Mardi Gras. I love New Orleans. It's one of my favorite cities.
That's my least favorite city, by the way.
Oh, no way. Why? Why? Tell me.
We went to New Orleans, my husband and I, in March of last year, or March or April, one of those months. And people there just did not like my husband for some reason.
Oh my gosh.
He got called out several times. So he's very doesn't do anything that's like, would cause any kind of conflict, but people just didn't like him. I didn't like it either. It was interesting, but I know you love it, and I know a lot of people love it. We also don't drink, so that might be another reason why we didn't really have a lot of fun there.
It's definitely an acquired taste, and for me, I've just always have had positive experiences there.
Yeah,
but
that definitely influences if you like what cities or states or whatever
countries
you love. Yeah, if you have a great experience there, my husband and I went on a trip to Florida, and I used to not like Florida, but now I cannot stop talking about how much I love it because we had such a fun time. So I'm sure you have the same association with New Orleans.
Totally. So those are kind of the things that are in February. The other things I saw was the Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
We've got National Freedom Day. We have National Bird Feeding Month. That one was a new one. But the thing that's really exciting is we are in Kansas City. That's where we're based.
Yeah.
And potentially we can be going to the Super Bowl, and that is in the month of February.
So crazy.
Oh my gosh. So
it will be the third year in a row that we'll be going to the Super Bowl.
It's amazing.
Potentially. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx it. Yes. By the way, before I move on, was it you were actually in New Orleans for Valentine's Day last year?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
It was absolutely the most romantic thing. My husband surprised me with a flight to New Orleans. We went and we had this epic time with another couple that we love. Shout out to Christian and Justin. It was like just one quick night in.
It was like
dinner.
a quick
it was so
trip.
Great.
It was like it reminds me of like Christian Grey and 50 Shades of Grey when he would just like fly Anastasia like somewhere amazing.
Just for a night for dinner or whatever. Yeah. With that particular trip, it was just him and I, and then shortly after we were like, we have to do this with our friends. Yeah. And then Christian and Justin are like, we have to do this more often. Yeah. It's so much fun.
I mean, who wouldn't want to just jet down somewhere fun and
best Valentine's Day.
I want to say though, switching gears like majorly, I love this. February means to cleanse.
Oh, I love that.
Which is so fitting for the new year, for the new podcast, for our lives. Like, we're really cleansing ourselves.
Yeah.
And I thought that was worth it to point out.
Oh, totally. And Aquarius season, which is so interesting because Aquarius season is all about creativity, and Wicked is definitely.
If you didn't know, Seraphine has 2 dogs, and
she's
got a little girl that is very hyper and feisty. She's adorable, though.
Feisty as hell. I love her to death.
She's small, but she is mighty.
She is. So we go into Aquarius season, and this is where we get to have some fun. Yes. So if you don't already know, we have Aquarius, which is January 21st to February 18th. So shout out to all you Aquarians out there. And then we have Pisces, which is from February 19th to March 20th.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of do a little deep dive because we wanted to learn more about the signs.
Yeah.
And her and I love to read and we love to research. So let's get into this. I want to know who are some cool Pisces.
So Pisces, by the way, we have to say Seraphine's sign is a Gemini, which is an air sign, which is Aquarius. I'm a water sign, Cancer, and so is Pisces. So we each chose one she chose Aquarius, I chose Pisces because it was kind of fun to like learn about our own element.
Yeah.
Another sign in our element. So anyway, she asked me what some cool famous Pisces are. My girl Rihanna.
Oh,
love
yes.
her. Seraphine loves Drew Barrymore.
Yes.
And she's a Pisces. She's just so
happy. I love her.
So happy. Elizabeth Taylor, obsessed with her. I have a picture of her in my house. Justin Bieber, Sharon Stone, love her too, and Adam Levine. So those are some cool Pisces. And then some like fictional characters. Winnie the Pooh. I mean, he's so adorable.
He's so cute.
Pocahontas, Sleeping Beauty. There's a little bit of like, we're not sure if it's Pocahontas or Sleeping Beauty. Depends on the article, but whatever, take it for what it is. And then lastly, we both love Sex and the City, and
yes.
I kind of like and just like that. I don't know how you feel. Maybe we'll talk about that sometime. Yeah. But Charlotte York is a Pisces.
I love it, and that's so fitting with her.
It is.
So I went nuts. I was looking up as many because Aquarians are like the coolest people ever.
They are the coolest.
So I am a big dork when it comes to books and reading. So Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland, is a freaking Aquarius, which makes sense. But the Mad Hatter, which is a fictional character, he is supposed to be an Aquarian, which is totally like weirdo. But you know, they're weird. They're a little hippie.
They're the hippie of the Zodiac.
They really are.
They are like the ones that take psychedelics and all that.
They are the daring ones. We've got The Weeknd, which I thought was super cool. He totally is befitting of that. Yeah. Jennifer Aniston, Alicia Keys, Shakira with the hips don't lie, Justin Timberlake.
Wow, there's really good Aquarians.
Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Kerry Washington, Ed Sheeran, Paris Hilton.
Wow.
I mean, these are like
Paris Hilton is the epitome of a hippie girl. So
totally. She is. She's like in her zone. And by the way, I am loving Paris in Love.
Yeah, she's so adorable.
She is.
I love her so much.
She's so much fun.
I love her even more than I used to. And I used to like try to be her. So if that's telling you anything, she's on Watch What Happens Live last night. And I was like, I love her so much.
I've been dying to watch it. I think I've fallen a little bit more deeply in love with her through her mom, Kathy.
Yeah.
I mean, the vulnerability that the mother and daughter have on this show is I love it.
Yeah.
But to go back to my list, Bob Marley, Dr. Dre.
Oh, wow. Gosh, you have some good ones.
Kid Cudi, Khalid, Megan Thee Stallion, Axl Rose. I mean, and then
the list goes on.
It does. And the fictional characters is Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City.
Oh, we love Carrie.
Moana and Elsa. So I thought that was kind of like, you know, that's a Aquarians, you are badass.
Yeah.
Love it.
Badass. My dad is an Aquarius and I'm obsessed with him.
I love it. And my sister Shauna is an Aquarius. My mom is a Pisces.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's funny.
All right. So let's get into the signs. All right. So you start out, give us a little overview of what the Pisces is and, you know, and a little bit about their elements and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So Pisces is a water sign. So they're extremely emotional and sensitive, and they're the dreamers of the zodiac. So if you can picture someone just like living in their head, making daydreaming, that is a Pisces to a T. They're emotionally sensitive, like I mentioned. They're gracious and emotionally aware. They're also very, very creative and imaginative, like the most creative. So I love learning about zodiac signs and compatibility and like how they are in love. So whenever you're in the zodiac, your most compatible signs are said to be the signs in your same element. So most compatible with Pisces would be Cancer and Scorpio. And then also water signs go really well with earth signs. So Taurus and Capricorn, and also probably a Virgo are like the best matches for a Pisces. Some negative kind of traits for a Pisces are overly emotional. Yeah. They are impressionable and closed off.
That makes so much sense with my mom. Interesting.
Yeah, they can be very closed off. So they're extremely, extremely intuitive. Like they know and they seek romantic love, and they absolutely need a soulmate. And once they're locked in, they are locked in forever. This can be Pisces can be a really beautiful partner to be with because of the deep love and empathy. The bond will be like very inseparable. They're very passionate and intense. That goes along with all the water signs. Very passionate and intense. So what else? Is there anything else that I had to? I talked about that. Some negative things that can happen with a Pisces in a relationship. Changing themselves for a partner.
I could see that.
Have you ever noticed someone, Kim Kardashian, she's not a Pisces, but she's a good example of someone that kind of changes herself with her relationships.
Oh my God. Yeah.
She kind of like
morphs into the
not taking enough alone time.
All right.
And then falling in and out of love easily, which doesn't really correspond to what I was saying earlier, but I think it's like when you're imprinted, that's when you don't really... You're stuck with, not stuck, but like you're bonded for life. But before that, I think it takes a second for them to like, do I or do I not? You know, that sort of thing. So that's kind of the gist with Pisces. They're ruled by the mystical Neptune and the lucky Jupiter, which are really good co-rulers for the sweet and sensitive Pisces. That's what gives them the like dreamy and imaginative nature. They're also highly spiritual planets, further enhancing Pisceans' connection to dreams, empathy, and creative abilities. So they're the dreamers, the creatives, artists, that sort of thing.
That's so wild.
I want to hear about Aquarius.
So Aquarius is the water bearer, but is actually an air sign. So that was really interesting because, Aquarian, you think like water, like aqua. They always have like lofty ideas for what the world should be like. They demonstrate basically like a desire for a better world. And it's always through like an artistic lens. So a lot of times it may come off as like a little self-righteous. We're talking like the Woodstock protest is like in the bones of these people. Bob Marley was an Aquarius. So like you really kind of get that with him. You also see like I don't know, like you just feel the vibe in Aquarius because the other thing about their personality is they're so unpredictable and they're rebellious. And the thing is they can come off almost as detached, which is really strange, which, it's that funny thing of like what I call the cool girl effect, to where it's like, God, I want to know her, but like, do I really know her?
Yes.
And same with the guys.
Yeah.
So we got, they're unpredictable. We got that rebellious. It can be detached. Uranus, the planet that's like tilted on a weird axis with all the stuff around it, the rings. It basically rules Aquarius, and it makes sense that the sign is so like unpredictable and paradoxical that this crazy chaotic planet is what it's ruled by. What's interesting is that, along with the air sign of Aquarius is me, obviously, Gemini, Libra, and air bends really easily with air and fire. So
yes, they're so compatible.
Totally.
Air and fire.
So it requires, though, some tolerance from anyone who's an air sign to blend with earth and water.
Yes.
But if they're going to go...
You don't really have like a lot of... well, go ahead. What were you saying?
The thing is, you really don't have like a lot of options with earth and water. Really, it's going to be if an Aquarius is not with a Gemini or Libra, they were pretty hardcore in saying that they should be with an Aries, a Leo, or a Sag.
Yeah.
And that's the fire signs. In general, I want to know how people feel in like their loyalty. So I looked up about Aquarians and cheating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Isn't
That's
this
really
crazy?
interesting.
So Aquarius is an air sign, and often they have trouble making and keeping intimate connections with others, which I kind of get.
Yeah.
I mean, my sister's an Aquarius, and she's somebody who, again, like she can have a deep relationship, but it takes her a while to get there.
Yeah.
She definitely has walls up. And intimacy for her is very much earned. Once Aquarians decide to commit, though, to another person and they let them into their lives, they love deeply. Like we're talking like that passionate, like bottomless, like the depths of my whole soul. That is why having a partner cheat on them is like death.
Yeah.
It is painful for them. If you cross them, they will easily detach and they will let you go in an instant. It's like you are dead to me. And then the other thing that's so interesting is I found out that Aquarians don't get along very well with Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn.
Yeah.
Taurus,
too stubborn.
Totally. Taurus and Aquarians struggle to see things the same way. Aquarius likes to do their own thing, and Taurus is rule-based, 100%.
Yes.
So crazy. So were there any like, I don't know, like in terms of like fun facts or things when you did some digging, was there anything with Pisces that you found?
Well, I just looked up because you said something about Aquarians and cheating. I just had to look it up with Pisces because I'm curious. And I want to just read this real quick because it's interesting. Although a Pisces will enjoy their affair, they don't take joy in cheating. If they're unhappy in their current situation, they tend to give in to their fantasies and will get swept up into an affair. Since they don't like conflict, they will try to hide it as much as they can. Wait, I'm clicking on this because it says the signs like most likely to cheat.
Oh boy.
5 zodiac signs that are most likely to cheat and hide it. Okay.
Oh boy.
First one is Aries.
Oh,
second
that makes
is
sense.
Gemini.
Oh shit.
Third
That's
is
me.
Libra. Fourth is Scorpio, and fifth is Pisces.
Oh my gosh, so interesting.
So I guess Pisces is pretty like susceptible to cheating. Maybe they give into their fantasies.
Totally.
They like daydream about people. I don't know.
Yeah, I could totally see
I
that.
don't know why I had to do
No, I get
this
it, but
little
it is.
thing.
It's kind of it is a little cha-cha-cha there. It's
Yeah.
like, ooh. But I feel like that would make sense because you give into the idea or the fantasy.
Exactly.
Of the
You're
relationship.
daydreaming about it and you're like, oh, okay. So one thing I do want to talk about, since February is Valentine's Day, I want to talk about like a ideal Pisces Valentine's Day. So like I said, Pisces is a water sign, super duper romantic. So if you're with the Pisces out there, try doing this. Try taking them to a dinner and a romantic movie or something and spend quality time. They love spending quality time with a candlelit restaurant, soft music playing in the background. I'm trying to paint this scene for you, okay? I'm giving you I'm giving you the outline. Then take things home and pour a bubble bath, complete with candles, strawberries, and chocolates. You'll feel lucky to have such a perfect day with your loved one. So that's like ideal Pisces. Or if you're like in a warm climate, take them to the beach and have like a little picnic.
I love that
Sunset picnic.
It's so, I feel like it's very classic Valentine's Day. A Pisces is pure romance.
Yes.
Well, for Aquarians, I mean, they're freaking kooky and they love to be surprised. They like to go off the beaten path. So what I would say is if you have the option, play hooky on Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day is on a Monday.
Yeah.
So like tell your Aquarius, or if you're an Aquarius, tell your loved one, like, let's just take the day off.
I love it.
Let's make Monday like an extended weekend day. And then if you are somebody who you're not on a budget and you can't do like the wild Aquarius thing of like going and traveling somewhere, then play tourist in your own town. What I think would be so cool, and what I love this idea is either you alone or you can sit down with your partner and say, look, let's go to make a roadmap. So maybe it's all of the key, like the places that are special to you and your loved one. If you're surprising them, I would totally like take them down a trip down memory lane where maybe you go and have a glass of wine at the first place that you had your first date. Maybe you go to the museum where, you know, you ended up meeting, you know, on a Sunday with your family. Maybe if you're married, like where you were proposed to, if it's here in town. Just think about like those places. Maybe you watched a football game and it was like the best day ever. I mean, you have to think about those moments that are really key. And then I think just go for it. I mean, like, even if you're in, like, I get so bored with Kansas City, but there are so many nooks and crannies of it. And then so many beautiful memories here. It's just how you frame it up. And I think Aquarians, I think use your creativity, use that unpredictable kind of side to like stir things up. Now that we've talked about the signs, which neither one of us are these signs, but we do have that element. I'm actually really curious about what you think you and Hassan will do. And then if you had like all the money in the world, like what you would do.
Hassan and I normally will go somewhere for Valentine's Day. So we will go on a road trip. We'll go, take the weekend somewhere. And what's kind of cute and fun that we always do is we find like a random coffee shop. We go there. We started this because our first Valentine's Day together, we were in New York City, and he was like, I feel like going to a coffee shop. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. So we sat down, and for 3 hours, we talked to each other about our fiancés. We acted like we didn't know each other.
I love it.
And people were around us, and we know that they were just looking at us like, what is going on? This is Valentine's Day, and they're sitting really close, and they're talking about their fiancés. Like, we were engaged at the time. I was like, and he's like, we have to do this every year. That was my favorite part of the trip. So we've done that a couple of times since then, and super duper fun. So I would, anytime we can go on a trip together, and that's our best way to connect is traveling. So
I love it. And to me, it's always a little spicy to do a little role play. I think, and it's if you're not into the whole, like, let me put on a costume and be blah, blah, blah. It's a way to like add a little bit of that element of
it's really fun, to be
honest.
I
love it. I think it's so cool. For me and Johnny and I are like, I have to say, we are people who love to do things like extreme.
Yeah.
So we usually travel.
You do like bucket list things.
We love bucket list. Well, and again, I think it's because we both have experienced some things in our life that have made us really come to terms with the fact that we have one life.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that's so hard about when you experience heartbreak or death or tragedy in your life, which, we both have quietly, like everyone experiences it. But, the way people go and, move forward with their lives, some people play it safe. Where I think he and I have just gotten more into this zone of like seize the day.
Well, you're still young, and you're still like, you can drop anything and go somewhere together. Do that.
Yeah.
And everyone always says that. They're like, oh, I wish I would have traveled when I was younger. I wish I would have traveled in this and that. Like, it's never too late.
It is.
I don't think.
Not at all.
But.
So in terms of what we're going to do, I think we actually were invited to go to Jamaica.
No way.
Yeah. It's one of our friends' 40th birthdays, and I'm pretty sure we're going to go. It would just be like some weird thing in the COVID universe or something that would come up. But Jamaica's probably going to be where we're going to be at. But I will say this, if everything, whether we're in Jamaica or whether we're right here at home, the one thing that I will do is when I first met my husband, the sweetest thing he ever did was, it was during Thanksgiving, but it was literally like our first real date. He came over with 2 bottles of wine, and I was in just a bad place. And he sat down across from me, opened up the first bottle, poured my glass, and then was like, talk to me. What's going on?
I can actually hear him saying that right now to you. I can picture it so vividly.
My husband's a really good listener.
Yeah.
And I've learned through him how to be a better listener, because obviously I love to talk, hence my podcast. And I love conversation. But what I love about what he did was there's something really lovely about sitting across from somebody, whether you're clutching coffee or you are sipping on a glass of wine, and taking a moment to sip your drink or to blow, to cool it off, thinking about your answer. And that's the thing that is so exciting about growing in a relationship, is in the beginning, we're so excited and we want to react immediately to the questions. And I've learned now, as our marriage has grown, is to really listen, think about it, and respond.
Yeah.
And, I'm more thoughtful because I'm less about impressing my husband and more about connecting with him. So, again, it'll be great if we're sipping on rum drinks in Jamaica, but it would make me just as happy to curl up with him in a blanket and just have a bottle of red, like we did.
That's really
7
sweet.
years ago.
That is so sweet. I love that. You could still do that in Jamaica too.
Yeah. It'll be so good. I'm so looking forward to this month. I love it because, you look at each month, and I think I'm framing up really this next year in a way of enjoying the moment more. I think I felt like last year, really the last 2 years, everything kind of blended in together. And what I love about how we've set up Hey Beauty is that it really is slowing things down and looking at the month itself first and picking out the things that are beautiful to us, the things that make us question ourselves and want us to be better people. I feel like the conversation pieces that we've really, we took this last month to really talk about what's important to both of us.
Yeah.
And really kind of identified the things in our own friendship and why we've kind of stuck together through this whole journey. I just really feel like this podcast is slowing things down and bringing a little bit more meaning into both of our lives.
Totally. I feel like in regards to our friendship and our working relationship, it was like, those relationships, romantic relationships that you get into and things are really quickly. And then they dull out really quick.
Yeah.
And then you have those relationships that you get to know each other. And then it's like a slow growth process. And then it's longer lasting.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how me and you are in our relationship.
Totally.
We just have taken the time to get to know each other better. And I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I am the type of person that it takes me baby steps to get to know people and to let them get to know me more.
Yeah.
But then once you're my friend and once I really know who you are and understand you, and I will do anything for my friends and I will be your biggest cheerleader ever. But it takes a little bit for me. I remember, oh my God, it cracks me up. But you thought you were like, you're a little icy.
Yes, 100%. I mean,
which is not how normally people that I love would probably describe me, but I kind of understand why you would think that. Just takes a second.
It did take a second. I think you are so accurate. I wouldn't correct any of that. I think the only things I would add in is that when I first started this podcast, I thought the more people in my life, the better.
Yeah.
And all the people that contributed, from Giovanna and Aaron, I mean, these are people who helped make the podcast what it was.
Yeah.
But I also found myself really kind of losing myself in the mix of all these people because I'm just the opposite. I think a lot of people meet me and they're like, gosh, I can't read her. She's so in your face and friendly, but I don't know if I know her, but I think I'm good friends with her. And I'm kind of that mercurial, Gemini. It's all over the place. But the funny thing about me is that once I slow down and once I really feel safe and I feel like I trust you. I'm a loyalist through and through.
Yeah.
And
I know you are.
I mean, like our friendship grew from a place of, I think, vulnerability, honesty, and then patience. I think you and I really learned about each other. And then also we were pretty fearless because, you know, we just dove in.
We did.
To doing this.
I know. And we're still figuring it out, you guys. Like, we're still figuring out. And there's going to, like, we really appreciate you guys coming along on the process with us because, like, there's a lot of things like neither one of us have ever done before, and we're trying to figure it out on our own, which girl power.
Right?
Hello.
Yeah, totally.
We redid the whole studio.
And we're going to add on more to it.
I think that's why, I mean, even though we did a full rebrand and we're not done yet, like there's more to come. But it all felt very organic and easy.
Yes.
And like me and you were on the same page about everything. Yep. So we just, from the first meeting that Seraphine and I had together about the rebrand, it's been so on the same page. So that's why I think that Hey Beauty is going to be so freaking amazing.
Me too.
I do want to talk a little bit about, I don't know if you want to say anything, but I do want to talk a little bit about love languages since we talked about,
oh my gosh, we so have to.
We skipped over it, but like February equals love. So we want to talk about love languages.
And I'm showing to the camera now the 5 love languages. Because Chelsey was talking to me about this and she's like, you really should read the book. Yeah. So I literally got an email today. Yes. Gary Chapman. So I'm going to be diving into this.
It's interesting about this because whenever you find out what your love languages are, which can actually change as you evolve as a person and through life. The 5 love languages are acts of service, gifts, quality time, physical touch, and quality time, physical touch. What is it? Words of affirmation.
Yes, you got it. I was like, I'll look it up in the book.
Yes. So, you know, what's interesting is where a lot of couples kind of have problems is you are showing love in the way you want to receive it.
Yeah.
So let's say that you're a person that likes words of affirmation and your partner likes gifts. Mm-hmm. So you're telling them all the time, like, you're so special to me. Thank you for being who you are, blah, blah, blah. But it's not really resonating with them because what they really want is a gift.
Yes.
They want a gift, which is totally fine. But people like, and you can also have more than one. But I think it actually says that in that book. When you start to figure out what your partner's love language is and you start to tailor your affection in that way, then you will start to see them, their cup will be filled up. And then you kind of have to like show them, if they're not reading this book, you kind of have to show them or even tell them what your love language is. Like quality time. Quality time is not just sitting together and watching TV if you're both on your phones. You know what I mean? Yeah. Quality time for someone, I love quality time. Yeah. It's like uninterrupted. If we're watching a movie, we're watching it together. We're not like on our phones, that sort of thing. So I love love languages. It is so powerful in relationships. It's kind of a form of communication.
Totally. And I think you can go even further with it with friendships and family.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know for a fact that, you know, even with my own relation, even just with you, I think that we've been kind of navigating like the things that are like, okay, this is how I express myself, and this is the way I'm going to listen. These are, we're going to go pretty deep into this it's usually going to be about the 3rd or 4th week of the month that we're going to go a little bit deeper into psychology and then the books that we're reading, because Chelsey and I have really been into this last year about communication, about how we want to better ourselves in not only our marriages, but our friendships, our family life. Yeah. I mean, we're going through transitional changes, and I think that along with all the stuff that's going on in the world, there are these opportunities that are missed when you don't slow down. And, you know, like I said, taking things, what I love is not just a month at a time, a week at a time. We're like really going into what matters to us and taking the time to learn, you know, and
absolutely. Since you mentioned books and stuff, I want to say, I want to give three. Oh, I found it. 3 books in relationships. If you're someone that wants to try to deepen your relationship with your partner, or if you want to, if you're going through a rough patch and you want to try to make it better, here's 3 books that I've read that were so life-changing for me and gave me totally different perspective on how I'm thinking, how my partner's thinking. One of them is The 5 Love Languages. Another one is Hold Me Tight. This was actually a book that a therapist told me about a long time ago, and it's by Dr. Sue Johnson, and it basically just kind of gives you an outline for all like the scenarios that couples get into, like the push and pull, I think is one of them, and it gives you examples of how it's affected negatively relationships and how to fix them.
Very cool.
Like when you're in arguments and withdrawal, and someone will withdraw and someone will like cling to it, that sort of thing. That's kind of how me and my husband are. He's one that wants to withdraw. I'm one that wants to be like, I got to fix this right now.
Totally.
So it gives you different perspective. And the last one is Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Have you read that one?
I have not. And it's one that I have read in so many magazines, or it's been referred to in a lot of the books I have read.
It's so
good. And it's a classic.
It's a classic. It actually gives you, I think it's like 12, 6 for women, 6 for men. It's so amazingly insightful. It'll tell you what the woman needs and then exactly what the man needs. It's like trust and vulnerability or something like that. Like the woman needs vulnerability, the man needs trust. And if you are not giving, the other one won't give that one.
I remember so that. Weird. I remember seeing like a whole, like, I don't know if it was an Oprah or something about trust and respect.
Yes.
And
men want to be needed. They want to feel like they're protecting you. And I actually had a conversation with someone the other day. She was having an issue with her husband, and he was getting mad at her for crying. And she was like, I just don't know. He said, I don't want to see you cry. Like, I don't want to see it. And I told her, I said, you know what's crazy about that is like in his face sign that he did something wrong. And he doesn't feel like he is. So he doesn't want to see it. He's not ready to see it. So you crying is like in his face way of being like, I'm failing, basically.
Yeah.
Which is so wild to me.
It is.
I think understanding those sort of things and like what men need to feel and what women need to feel, like this is just generalizations. I know that it can change based on the person, but it's kind of crazy.
It is.
But those are 3 really good books to check out.
I love it. Well, we're going to be definitely diving into books. I mean, I'm diving into like 3 of them right now. And then towards the end of the month, we will discuss the stuff we're reading, and we'll probably go even deeper into these books and a little bit more.
I would love that. I want to know what your love language is once you read this.
I will. I'll tell you. I'm so excited to find out, and then I'm going to have to find out what Johnny's love languages, because I'm like,
it's so fun.
I think I know, but you know.
You should read it together.
I will. We should. We totally should.
Can we talk about something else? Something came to mind. Since we're talking about love, something like a little bit pop culture-y, which I know we'll probably talk about in a future episode, but for Valentine's Day, I want to talk about, can we talk about a couple of couples like Machine Gun Kelly
and my gosh, let's do it.
Megan Fox, and then I've seen a lot of comparisons with Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox's relationship compared to Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian's.
And then Kim Kardashian.
And Pete Davidson.
Yes.
But there's a psychologist on TikTok that talks about the psychology breakdown of MGK and Megan Fox and how toxic it is. How toxic their relationship is. And how they have a need to like, I guess, prove to everyone else and themselves based on how they're acting on social media.
Yeah.
Compared to Kourtney and Travis, who's like, caption is forever with the symbol, like they don't need to justify it.
Yeah. Crazy. I think, it's funny because I think that no matter what, whether you're a super persona like those people, or you are just a person in a relationship that happens to be on social media, it's so interesting how the pressure of either keeping things private or really showing people like what your relationship is all about.
Yeah.
And I think what I what I'm curious about is I'm curious to see what will happen when there is maybe a disagreement, a drama, something happens, because we haven't had that many couples that have really gone there. I think Meghan and Harry went there about what happened in their relationship that was dark and bad, as opposed to this beautiful, kind of prince and princess scenario that we saw.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I mean, because in the beginning, we see this actress, with this young, cute, like red-haired playboy, and then behind closed doors, all the pain that they have been going through.
Yeah.
For me, I've always through and through an Angelina Jolie fan, and her and Brad Pitt in the media were like the super couple long ago. And then, I don't think wanted their fallout to happen, but we all heard about his addiction problems, and there was like alleged abuse to one of their kids, like all of these things that start, because they were kind of the Machine Gun Kelly kind of feel back, and especially like Billy Bob.
Yes, that's really a good comparison.
It is. It's like this cyclical kind of thing that we're seeing. I just hope that going forward, as we discuss pop culture and we talk about relationships and things, it's good to have conversations of like what is inflated in the media and what is toxic for us to look at on our phones, to be like, well, I want to be just like MGK and Megan Fox, versus like, well, in reality, what is their reality like?
Exactly. And they've hinted to it too. Yeah. They've hinted to how toxic it is. And actually her engagement ring is built to be painful to take off.
Yes. It's a thorn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Should we do the hot tea with Seraphine?
Oh my gosh, the hot tea.
Introduce the news session.
I love it.
News section.
Okay, so the hot tea with Seraphine. I wish it was more sizzling hot than it is. It's a little lukewarm. But what I want to talk to you about is, first of all, did you know? I had no clue that on February 4th of 2004, it's this month, Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook. I didn't even realize it. I mean, it's kind of nuts that that's like, and that was the catalyst for all of this.
It changed the trajectory of like our lives.
100%.
Everything revolves around social media. This will be on YouTube, social media, and this will probably be on Instagram, social media.
It's insane to me what one thing, 2004, which now feels like forever ago.
Yeah, it does feel, it was almost 20 years ago.
I mean,
how weird is that?
It is so weird. And I mean, how influential on our lives. The other thing,
oh my gosh,
I hate to say, even though this is not hot tea, it's a cute fun fact. And it influenced, I think, all of the way we look at ourselves. Barbie was on the same day, February 4th.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Both are
Barbie was created.
Influential in our mental too.
Totally.
Because Barbie set the standard of beauty years ago.
100%.
And we've still been trying to become Barbie. And
well, and
no
now
one is Barbie.
We can be Barbie with our phones and putting on filters. I can be Barbie, literally. Yeah. But I guess the real tea, that was just like fun facts, I guess. But the real tea is what's coming up next week. I want to talk to you about what is filling my cup and Chelsey's cup in the month of February. Yeah. So this is going to be an episode that is about pop culture, because you know I love some good celebrity stuff. I love movies. I love TV. I love film. But
fashion.
Fashion. Oh my gosh. We need to talk about Kanye and his new lady and that horrifying eye makeup in France. Oh my Lord.
Well, she's wearing the same outfit every time she's out. It's like Kanye went to her closet and was like, this is the one outfit for now. You can't change it until I redo it all.
I mean,
she's in the same crop black top with the low rise pants.
She and P.S. I did not know that her, let's see, what's her name again? I've got to look her up. Julia something. She did a photo shoot with Pete Davidson in Paper Magazine.
I think Julia Fox is her name.
I think it is.
Yes.
I mean, I think Julia Fox is going to be on our tongues for a little while
I think
longer.
so too.
I really do. This woman is an interesting woman. It is Julia Fox. Boy.
She's actually really beautiful.
She is.
But not that eye makeup.
No, that whole look and the cone like denim bra thing, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to learn more about her, but she definitely made an appearance during Fashion Week in Paris. We'll dish a little bit about that, and then also I've been doing a lot of traveling, and I want to talk to you all about some of the places that are off the beaten path. I went to Washington. I'm a big Twin Peaks fan. For those of you who are Gen Xers, you probably know more than, the people who are the millennials and Gen Zers, but it's a really cool 90s show. And it kind of goes in with the grunge comeback here, but Washington is where they filmed the show. I went to the hotel that was like ingrained in my teenage and early 20s mind. And I went on nature hikes in this mysterious forest. So I can't wait to talk to you about that filling my cup. And then Colorado vibes all the way this month. I just got back from Telluride. And then I'm going to Estes Park, back to the Stanley Hotel.
So fun.
So much good
Estes
stuff.
Park.
I can't wait to see what you bring to the table to talk with what's filling your cup. It's going to be good stuff.
I'm feeling like, I feel like I have a creative brain. So whenever I have a creative rut, I feel like not myself. And I feel like a lot of last year I was in a creative rut. And I feel like as soon as the year changed, I got my creativity. I'm inspired again. And I feel like the podcast has a lot to do with it. Yeah. But I'm just like, speaking of, make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our podcast on all the apps. Like, please, because we're going to be coming with some really, really fun stuff.
Totally.
We're upping our game on social media for sure.
We can't wait. Thank you so much for supporting us. And those of you who came from the Seraphiend Podcast over to Hey Beauty, we love you so much.
Love you.
And for all you newbies, we cannot wait. Welcome. We are going to see more. You're going to see more of us. We're going to see more of you. And please, like I said, communicate. Drop your comments, your thoughts, your feelings on this first episode. And thank you so much for joining us. All right, beauty. I guess we'll sign off. All right.
Bye, beauties.
See you later. Bye-bye.